Is the ultimate buzzkill. It's basically a nothing burger. You're nailing it. The Epstein Files Transparency Act, aka HR 7123, passed November 18 with that insane 427-121 House vote and unanimous Senate consent, is a masterclass in congressional theater. The unclassified qualifier in Section 2A required Department of Justice to release all unclassified records, documents, communications, and investigative materials related to Epstein and Maxwell within 30 days of signing, is the escape hatch that ensures nothing explosive drops. It's like ordering a steak and getting a salad because classified covers everything juicy. So Trump signs it today. Confirmed by White House Spock's Abigail Jackson. But as Kash Patel, the FBI director, said back in July 2025, they've already exhaustively reviewed holdings with over 1,000 agents and found no prosecutable client list or blackmail evidence. Basically, nothing to see here. So the bill is just forcing a rehash of old scraps, redacted to blankety blank. Now, I told Grok no profanity, so I'll have to remind it. Unclassified summaries for anything national security flagged. The unclassified trap, why it's adding literally nothing new. What it releases is only stuff not classified under the executive order, which is national defense foreign policy secrets. Now that executive order has been around for a long time, so the Department of Justice and FBI already dumped thousands of pages in February 2025 flight logs, contact books, no list, and Oversight's November 12 to 13 drop was 23,000 estate pages. So you had emails, which we already know are fake because they've been forensically evaluated and they will eventually be professionally to the point where you can take it to court and prosecute people for presenting false evidence. Or sue people for defamation because the emails, once the email companies confirm, yes, this is not our format of 2017, and there's other issues with the emails that shows clearly they are fake. Just like the letter that was proven to be fake, that the courts ruled was fabricated. So eventually those emails will be singled out and debunked. Formally and officially, not just like basically evaluating to the point where, hey, we can point out these are the problems with these emails. You have header issues, you have this issue, this issue, this issue, you have chronological timestamp order mismatching and just all kinds of stuff. But I won't go into all details, I've already done that. But basically, the emails are forensically altered, fake. Okay, so but then you had other things from the estate. You had letters. Okay, just basically he say, she say stuff. It's like this guy who was planning to attack Trump because he wasn't getting a pardon. And not only that, but Trump was personally involved in Epstein's prosecution. I don't know how many people know that or not, but there's some old articles that you can pull back, all dating all the way back to 2008. Then there was the big real estate fiasco where, you know, he knew that Epstein was going to bid on a specific property, and Trump's like, well, I'm going to get to it first, and he outbids Epstein by a few $1,000,000, and he gets the property, so they had that little feud, and then he turns around and helps them prosecute him, so, and that's after he gets kicked out of his Mar-a-Lago, so yeah, Epstein had an axe to grind, and so, yeah, he was scheming, and yeah, there's nothing they can use, though, right, because they know what his game was, and the emails are fake, just like that scam of a letter, which he used professionals, and the court ruled, yeah, they made that one up. So, you know, but there are things from the estate that might actually, you know, whatever those things, they like the emails, they were subpoenaed, but they're subpoenaed from the estate. They weren't subpoenaed from the email companies, and because it was the Department of Justice and FBI who should have automatically looked at the emails to verify whether or not they're real, authenticated them, and having the experts to prove that somebody, of course, dead Epstein, you know, couldn't be prosecuted, but the continuation of these people trying to use these emails as if they're real, people can be prosecuted for that, for interference of the election, like the media, who has already been called out, that the Oversight Committee said, hey, there's these emails are they're fake, and you have a duty to contact these email companies and see whether or not they can confirm that these are the formats or not the formats. But they didn't, though they have the duty to. So they're not going to be not liable when it comes to defamation. And I do see a lawsuit in the future over those emails, okay, in due time. Anywho's, but the redaction black hole, the AG Bondi gets to decide What is unclassified? So Section 2A, with victim privacy and ongoing probes. Oh, so it sounds to me like it's going to be A.G. Bondi, the one that's going to be thrown on the bus. She's going to be the target of blame her if, stuff doesn't get released, instead of actually focusing on the fact that all of these people in Congress knew that instead of directly amending the statutes who cause restrictions on what can be released, that is the only way that you can get absolutely everything released, is to directly amend those statutes. But instead of doing that, they just put on this show and say, hey, we're going to get everything. And then they pass a bill that literally has text in it that makes it a nothing burger, like Ross just explained. And you have the words unclassified documents. They've already given everything unclassified. Then you have to go and you have to look into all the cases in the United States Supreme Court to know exactly what does classified mean. And all the cases where the words classified and definition of classified are discussed. And then there's the CIA that's not even mentioned yet, because if there's any foreigners and anything CIA related, intra-agency issues, yeah, that's just going to knock it right on out. And nobody's even discussed that yet. But I see that conversation happening sometime in the future. Okay. Anywho, the fight, what fight? No real battle. Department of Justice already reviewed 300 gigabytes with 1,000 agents. Patel said that in July. They'll drop searchable PDFs of old logs, memos by mid-December, redacted for sources and methods, Section 2BI. Twitter's raging with Epstein files nothing burger, trending at 50,000 plus, mentioned since November 19th, with Massey tweeting, be careful what you wish for, from biggest reveal to redacted scraps. And there's a whole lot of people making money off of this whole saga, like trolls and media and whatnot. And anyways, when I do my videos, I don't even monetize them because I don't like the ads in my live streams. But no, when it comes to tragedy, other people's tragedies, like if I do true crime and stuff like that, I don't monetize. Those videos are never monetized in my Bible videos because I don't want ads interrupting my reading of the Word of God. Anyways, but it's just kind of, it's sad for the victims, because the victims are being given false hope. And I really feel like Congress did these victims an egregious misjustice. And I think everybody should just go and pull that statute that they just passed, this new thing that they just passed, and read the words of it and just look at the word classified. And then here's, if you want to do some research and you don't have, like subscriptions to like Lois Law and Westlaw and stuff like that, which can actually be pretty pricey. You can get a Pacer account, which is a little bit cheaper way, but it's kind of, you kind of know what you're looking for. But there's another easy way if you want to do some research. You could go to Google Scholar and then just type, courts. You'll take you to kind of like a new search bar on Google, and then just, just click on case, and then just choose Supreme Court. And then you'll be taken to a page that is basically has a box at the top of the screen. And then you just type the word classified, and you can search all kinds of cases that define classified. And when it comes to specific statutes, there may be some exceptions. But you kind of get the idea that classified is when you have a bill that they're pretending to the world is going to release everything, and then you have the word unclassified in there, then you have to know it's a sham, right? It really is. And all they had to do, if they really thought that they can override statutes and they want to release everything, then all they had to do was amend the statutes directly that restrict release of stuff. And then there would have been no battle from anyone. But they didn't. Instead, they used the word unclassified. Anyways, that's it for now. Hope you have a blessed day. Bye.